everyone, my name is Renata, and here we are filming with Dina Six. We are social distancing. She has her mask on. I just took mine off for this interview. Welcome. You were fabulous in Miss Hannigan. You were Broadway quality, and I was so shocked to see how talented you were. You were really fantastic in that role.
Thank you. But you know what, honey? It's not about me, you know.
It's about me.
And we always know it's always about you.
About me.
I have to say, it was, my God, what a joy it was to do theater with you.
It was beautiful. We had such a wonderful time.
And one time you did a play that you did Maria.
Oh my gosh, remember that? That was one of my favorite roles.
How could I forget it? I mean, you were so funny. And you were so emotional. My head, I was laughing so hard, my head was hitting the seat in front of me. And then you're just an incredible.
I love to hear the laughter from the stage. It's so rewarding for me. It's the place I was born to be, I think. Just because it's the only place I ever really truly fit in. When I was young, I was so insecure. I was always at a place, and the stage was the place where I knew that I was there and that I was okay, where I truly felt confident.
Yeah, and let me reiterate, okay, I played one character in Annie, but Renata, you played 5.
7.
7.
To be exact.
To be exact, not to get it wrong. You had so many roles, you had to put your clothes right by the
along with everybody else's
stage
clothes.
right or left?
Stage left. And all the clothes were hanging, mine, Annie's, and the wardrobe people would take them. And as I went to get my police uniform, the pole fell and it was all covered in costumes and I couldn't find it. And I had to look on that huge pile to find my clothes. And I was wearing my underwear and I thought I'm gonna have to go on in my underwear because Annie was finishing her song.
Oh my God, you were amazing. I mean, my clothes were actually in my dressing room. I actually had a dressing room once.
You were more important than me.
No, I wasn't. My point is, you had 7. You couldn't have a dressing room if you tried because you had to run in and change so many times.
Right, it had to be right outside of the stage.
Yeah, it had to be right outside of the stage because
that was one of the most scary moments in my whole career because I was like, what do I do? I hadn't been trained for that. If I can't find my costume, I'm going to have to go out in my underwear because Annie was finishing her song and my lines came right after her song, you know, so it was fun.
It was amazing. It was absolutely amazing. Talk about how did you come to know that, you know, this was your love, your passion?
Well, my parents met in the theater. They were from a very small town of 2,000 people, and they started to do shows. The mothers didn't allow the women to go traveling out of town in those days with men.
Where was this, honey? Where is this?
In Uruguay, South America. That's where I was born because I'm Uruguayan.
Right.
I'm very proud to be Uruguayan. And my parents fell in love. And it wasn't like, it was just a community theater thing, but they actually hit it with this play called Barranca Abajo in Soca, Canelones, Uruguay. And they met, they fell in love. And it just is in the blood. It's in the blood because when I was a child, I'd escape from all the bullying in school and all the laughter from the kids into the television. And I would also interpret while I was watching the television. And from that little game that I did, I ended up having a career interpreting for immigration besides my acting career because, you know, actors don't always make a lot of money. We have to have a little job.
Oh yeah, and you not only did theater, but you were even more involved in film and TV. Your first film, I believe, was Johnny Depp's first big break, was Crybaby in DC.
I started as one of the Drakes. It was so exciting. It was my first time. And I worked for John Waters, who was spectacular. We had swordfish, and all this fabulous food and beautiful scenery. I thought it was all going to be like that from on. Every film shoot was going to be like that. Little did I know how difficult sometimes it could be. Major League 2, we had to film in freezing weather with little carton figures next to us, cardboard figures that looked like they were people in the you know, the rock, what is it called where they sit in the football game, the roster.
Oh yeah, in the crowd in the football.
Right, so there was
fantastic.
like one person and then people made out of cardboard.
Oh wow.
Freezing weather. Everybody else was smart enough. They took rum, they took wine. Not me. I was just freezing cold watching everything for hours.
For hours and hours. But I saw you loud and clear, that whole scene where he sang, you were right up front.
It wasn't the fabulous experience that it was with John Waters. Working with John Waters was a wonderful time.
Amazing, amazing.
Beautiful memories.
You also went on to do a string of soap operas, and weren't you in the first primetime gay? Starred in the first primetime gay soap opera?
The nation's first gay soap opera. Actually, internationally, it was the first gay soap opera. I was male then, presenting as male, and I was one of the 4 leads. And I had just won Mr. Maryland, and I auditioned, and I saw this one guy among the crowd, and I said, oh, I hope they pick him because I think we would make a great pair. And when I went for the first shooting, well, actually the first rehearsal, there he was, Scott Olsen, my dear friend, and everybody predicted it because it was scandalous in 1990, 91,
sure,
to have a gay soap opera where men kissed.
Wow.
And they were like, this is going to last 2 weeks. Once you kiss, it'll be all over. I didn't allow the director to film us kissing until about 4 or 5 years for the first time, a real French kiss.
Right.
And it lasted 5 years.
Phenomenal.
And I'm very proud. We made history. We had to learn.
Now, what is the name of the soap opera?
Inside Outside the Beltway.
And you can find it on YouTube, correct?
Yeah, the quality at the beginning was not as good as it was at the end because we had to learn. We were learning as we went, which is actually quite an experience. I owe it to Dennis Brooks, the director, the producer, and Jack Ellison, who were fabulous. I never had a bad word with anyone on that set for 5 years that we worked on it. Can you imagine?
Wow.
It was so exciting. Of course, I had to choose New York because California was not for me. And I came to New York. New York ate me up and spit me out 3 times until the 4th time I finally beat it. I finally started working in television. I did some commercials, some extra work. I love extra work, actually. I don't care to be the spoken lead role anymore. I've done that. I enjoy now that I'm disabled because of my stroke, and that I would do a lead role though if it paid enough. But I'm not going to challenge my pension just to get a role. You make $4,000 and then you don't work again for 2 or 3 years. It's not an easy job, this one. You have to have hotter steel to have this career.
Oh, definitely. People don't realize that people like making a lot of money in LA right now, actors are on unemployment.
Exactly, and they think that you just read the lines and go out on stage and do the lines. It's not like that. You have to study, you have to learn, especially if you're in musicals, how to dance, how to sing, how to act, it all together.
It's a lot of work, and also in theater, you have to stay hyped show after show after show. It's not like TV. It's a whole different animal.
Exactly. My preference is television. I love television more than film and more than
movies.
More than theater, actually. And you know, I'm not a method actor. I never was a method actor. I'm an instinct actor.
Yeah.
And I've always been that. I'm not criticizing. Everybody chooses their own path, and that was the path that
I'm studying with an acting coach right now that is teaching the instinctive acting, and it is amazing.
Well, method acting is not my style. It works for some people and it works beautifully for them, but I'm more of an instinct actor, and I act in the way that I feel led, and I develop slowly, little by little. I don't look at the whole thing. I don't change. I keep the integrity of the writer. I don't change the words. And I don't try to find out about my character. I do find out about my character, but I find out in an instinctive way. That's how I do it. But the other way works for other people, but not for me.
Yeah, because you are interesting enough. You just as yourself. No, this is the theory of Is it
really?
Instinctual acting is you are enough.
Okay.
And that's the beauty. And you know, and you always, and I watched you study, and the lines were never the important part for you because you always got the lines down so quickly.
I did.
Always. I always watched you develop your character. And the lines, you would always leave the integrity of the lines, and you would develop your character instinctually.
Right, and you know, I never want to be a phony when I talk about myself, because I will always tell you what my errors are. But one of the things that I always had that was good about me was that I learned my lines like this. Oh my, Scott Olsen, my partner in the soap opera, would forget the lines sometimes, and I would torture him laughing, but we got along so beautifully. We worked so well together. And I always had my lines right there. And he had other fortes.
Yeah.
Learning his lines was not his forte, but it was for me. But I had my errors too in many ways.
I suggest this maybe is because you knew your lines and you knew his lines because you
I did know his lines.
You did do the instinctual acting, so you fed off of him.
Yeah, I did feed off of him.
Yes, and you fed off of me, and you feed off of other characters.
I do,
and
he
that's
brought
instinctual.
it home beautifully to me. And you know, also you remember I'm very physical on stage.
Yes.
Like I would choreograph the movements.
Yes.
Like we did in Rocky Horror. Remember that?
Oh my God!
what a
So many plays together.
That show, I still laugh.
Oh my God! I finally developed my own character in that. It was the first time I actually developed my own character.
Right, because you're an instinctive actor as well.
Yeah, but I didn't know.
No, you didn't know.
And then once I threw the fake boobs and the fake butt on, I was like, oh, this is what they're talking about.
Well, it's all a process of learning, and that's not to talk badly about actors that are method actors, because they, like I said, they work very well off that. But I'm just not one of them.
Me either. I agree. Renata is trans, and your characters so far have been men. Now you've transitioned recently, and you're getting ready to go back to acting as a woman, which you are. Yeah.
Well, you know, I did a lot of roles in drag, as they call it. It's female impersonation on stage, and I loved those roles. I loved them because they were what I was inside. And now I have the opportunity to act as a woman, and I've done small parts in my friend Samara Rivera. She has a short film called Linda that she's worked on, and I was able to play her assistant, her crazy evil assistant.
Fabulous.
And I'm looking forward to starting to film as a female. Now, Central Casting told me when I went to see them the last time, you'll always have work with us, because I was nervous that I would never be able to work again. But that wasn't going to keep me from transitioning, because it was important to me to live my truth. And they said, you'll always have work with us, don't worry about it. And just as I got my suit to go in to see them, because now you have to go in and be interviewed and all that, coronavirus hit. So here I am. But I'm looking forward to acting again. I'm looking forward to doing speaking roles on stage and in film and in television if it's worth my time, because it's not about money for me anymore. And I'm retired because of my health. I'm happy, and that's just like I've already done it. What there is to do, I've already done it. So now I just want to enjoy my career.
Let me ask you something. Do you ever consider, because I think you're a wonderful teacher, possibly directing?
Never.
Never, huh?
I cannot work behind the camera, and I don't have the patience. The only thing I would do behind the camera is editing. My place is in front of the camera, and I don't have patience. I wouldn't be like you and some other people. I don't have the patience for that. I just don't. I don't think that I could do it.
Oh, I disagree, but I don't want to end on a you couldn't do it note. I would love an opportunity to work on a piece that you actually direct and develop.
You know what I would love to do, though?
What would you?
Character development.
Yes.
And when I did a lot of that in the Rocky Horror play that we did, character development and editing are my favorite things. I would love to do that.
Oh, fantastic.
Behind the camera. In front of the camera,
right.
It's acting.
Oh, Renata, thank you so much for coming on today. As you can see, we're in Central Park.
Beautiful Central Park.
We're going to turn the camera off, and we're going to walk around and enjoy the day. So say goodbye to your fans, my love.
Thank you so much for your time, Dina, and everyone out there. Thank you, and we'll see you soon.